What's good, everyone, and welcome back to the Water Boys channel. As this week it's going to be a little different, but we will give you our Week 4 NFL predictions. Who's going to win, who's going to lose, and why. Why do I say it's different? It's because you don't see a side screen of Tim. Unfortunately, we couldn't make a podcast work this week, but we will give you both of our picks, both of our perspectives. He will have a video uploading up. I will have mine up by Sunday. Must watch them both because one of us will be right, one of us will be wrong. It might be rare. We might both pick the same 15 teams. We might both pick all opposite 15 teams. But with that being said, let's jump into the first game Sunday. And that first game will be the Washington football team going to the Atlanta Falcons. The spread is +1.5 in favor for the Falcons. This is an iffy game because I can see Atlanta coming out and winning this game, but I'm going to play it more safer than anything. I'm going to go with the football team just because I like them as more of a complete team. They're kind of disappointing this year as well because I thought they'd be much better than what they are now. And their defense has been, I'm going to say terrible, but maybe abysmal. I thought they were going to have one of the top defenses in the league. I drafted them in fantasy, and they haven't done nothing. The offense has been, inconsistent, but Atlanta's been in the same boat, if not worse. I know Atlanta performs better at home, which is kind of wanting me to slight the edge to Atlanta. But right now, I'm going to stick with Washington just because I think it's a safe bet to do. Now, next game up we have scheduled is the Houston Texans going into Buffalo's Bills Mafia down deep in New York to take on the Bills. They are crazy. 17.5 underdogs. That is wild. Do I think the Bills will cover that spread? That'd be ridiculous if they do. But there's a part of me that don't even want to touch that because I believe they could. And Houston's a very weird, iffy team this year. Davis Mills will still be your starting quarterback. Tyrod's still hurt. We already know everything that's going on with Deshaun. We don't need to mention anything more. I do think if you're going to take Buffalo, that is one of your locks of the week. Probably safest bet. Book it down. Buffalo's winning. I just don't think it'll be by 17. But it could be. This could be a rout. Buffalo's very talented on offense. The last 2 weeks, since week 1, since they struggled with Pittsburgh, they've got it all together. That defense is looking better as well. Nothing top tier or elite, but top 15 defense. They're doing their thing. I think Houston's going to struggle with this team all day long. Next game up, we got the Detroit Lions heading into Chicago. They are 3-point underdogs. I'm doing it. I'm going Detroit. You watching that, Tim? You going Detroit? I hope you ain't. Go with Chicago. See what happens. Chicago is honestly a terrible team. Detroit is an unlucky team. Let's get that straight. They're not both bad. Their records tell a different story. Detroit's been in every game this year. Chicago's just been playing terrible. Yes, they have a win under their belt, but they don't even know who their starting quarterback is. Do you want to go with Dalton? Do you want to go with Fields? Do you want to throw Foles into the mix? I like Detroit. Detroit's young. They got weapons. They proved they could almost beat Baltimore. They probably should have, but Tucker has got hell of a leg, kicked a 66-yarder. I think it's safe to take them +3 because I think they're going to win this game. Now we got up is the Carolina Panthers going into Big D, Dallas Cowboys. They're 4-point underdogs. And I think the Cowboys will give them their first L. I have loved how the Cowboys look this season. They look great. That defense was the only question mark. And we're not even asking questions about it no more. They have been best turnover ratio team this year on defense. That offense is studded out. They got studs everywhere. It's crazy. Dak looks like he's fully recovered. This team will be one in contention in the NFC and possibly to go to the Super Bowl. Yes, Bucks, watch out. Yes, Rams, watch out. Bucks already know what happened. They could have lost that game, but Tom Brady isn't one of the best 2-minute managers in the league. But Dallas is very strong. The reason why I don't think Carolina will last is because they're a young, upcoming team. Yes, they're undefeated. They have played really well. Missing Christian McCaffrey is going to be huge. We will find out a lot about Sam Darnold in this game too as well. Is he ready to take that next step and compete with a team like this? Because they do got weapons as well. Their defense is solid as well. But I got to give it to Dallas. I just think they're more talented in this scenario. Now, next up, we got the Indianapolis Colts going into Miami and taking on them Fins. You know, the Dolphins. The Dolphins are 2.5-point favorites. Colts haven't won a game this year. That's kind of surprising. So I'm going to go with another upset because that's what it's considered on paper. I'm going to go with the Colts. Now, people will say Jacoby Brissett is better than Tua. I wasn't all that impressed with what he did against the Raiders last week. He had a big lead, 14-0, lost it. The offense wasn't the thing that would have won that game because the offense looked terrible against the Raiders. And if it was any decent quarterback, they win that game. And they really struggled. I remember watching them inside the 5. It took them about 6 plays because a penalty extended it to get them in the end zone off of 5 yards. I don't know about this Dolphins team. I do like the talent on the team. I just don't know if that quarterback with Tua as well is that right question. I feel like this is where the Colts prove themselves. Carson should be playing. I do like their defense. They got a lot of question marks as well. Another iffy thing, which kind of wants me to slide back to the Dolphins, because this could be a game where I easily lose, is Quentin Nelson was put on IR. Huge. Probably best lineman in the league. So that's going to be a huge loss as well. I don't know. I just think this will be not low scoring, but like a 24-21 type of game. I just got to edge it to the Colts. I feel like they're due for a win. They can't go 0-4. I just don't see it. I chose them to be a contender and a surprise wild card team is why I don't see it. And I just feel like this is their week to get a W. Next game up, we got the Cleveland Browns going into Minnesota, taking on them Vikings, them Skulls. I guess we'll say it again. This is going to be another upset in my books. Minnesota is 1-point underdogs at home. I love that. I'm really in love with that pick because Cleveland's a really talented team, but it's like we're not paying attention to what Minnesota does. Even in their loss, or was it losses? I'm confused with their record right now. I think they only have 1 win, but even in those, they've been in every game. We all hate on Kirk Cousins, but he's having one of the greatest starts for a QB this year. Like, he's going crazy, averaging 300 yards a game. I think 3 touchdowns a game. That offense has got weapons with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, the tight end, Coughlin. Dalvin Cook's coming back, and even if he's not coming back, Madison can run. That defense is the question mark, but hey, I think it'll be enough in this game because I think Minnesota, like Cleveland, they got question marks on their defense as well. They keep getting injuries. Myles Garrett is a stud. They still don't got Jarvis Landry. I don't know how 100% Odell is. You got that two-headed monster. I think this is going to be a really high-scoring shootout. I can't see Cleveland winning this game, but I do love Minnesota in this game. I think they're turned the page after Seattle. I love Minnesota in this game. And now up, we got the New York Football Giants taking on them New Orleans Saints. Tim's J-Bo. I'm going with it. They're 7-point favorites. I don't know if I'm going with the 7 because I think this will be a way closer game than what a lot of people are thinking because I don't really believe in the Saints. Like, it can be that blowout. It's Jameis's career. It's what he's done with the Bucs. It's what he's done throughout the first 7 years of his career. It'll either be a blowout, really close game, or a devastating loss on an interception. And Daniel Jones, we don't give him enough credit, but it's like he's kind of turning it around. That O-line is still terrible, but he only has 1 turnover this year, and dating back to last year, he hasn't turned the ball over in 9 games. So he's doing things better. He's not the greatest yet. That O-line is terrible. That defense is kind of starting to turn around, but they're not the greatest either. They got to find weapons. I think Sterling Shepard is out, so I don't know what Kenny Golladay will bring to the table. Giants just got way more question marks than the Saints to me, so I'm going to give the edge to the Saints, but by 3 points. Now, next up, we got them Tennessee Titans taking on them New York Jets. Honestly, and earlier in the week, I probably would have gave you blowout city Tennessee, and you could still do it. What this game is really going to call for, Derrick Henry about to touch the ball 50 times. I think that 50 times for 400 yards. I think that's what it's going to be. They're missing their 2 top receivers, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones. So this is going to be a run dedicated. I think even Tannehill's going to run the ball. And you would say, oh, New York's got a chance in that aspect. And I do give them a better chance. I really do. Because also Tennessee's defense is the worst pass defense in the league. And we know Zach Wilson likes to throw the ball. It's whether is he going to throw an interception or not. And if Tennessee don't get the interceptions, and let's say Corey Davis come out and say, man, y'all should have kept me, this might be a way closer game, is why I don't really want to touch this game. It's kind of iffy with the injuries, and Tennessee have a terrible defense. But Derrick Henry will find a way to win this game. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be Derrick Henry versus the New York Jets. That's it. Now, like I said, when it comes to this game, when it comes to my team, I will try my best to take the emotion out of it. We got the Kansas City Chiefs going into Philly. They are 6.5-point favorites. Every part of me looked at it from not just took the fan perspective out of it to see, can Kansas City lose this game? And of course, they can. Any team can lose a game. But I don't think it's this one. Eagles really struggled on Monday night. Now, they might want to perform better, and they could still perform better, and I think they would lose. I think Kansas City, they know they can't drop 3 in a row. I think they know how tough the AFC is this year. They can't fall too far back in the AFC West. I think they need this game more. Also, Andy Reid coming back to Philly to get his 100th win with the Chiefs, making him the first coach ever to have 100 wins with both teams. I think the storyline basically writes itself. I do think it could be a closer game. I just don't see Kansas City losing this game. Not like I said, when I mentioned in my instant reaction, that's not the turnaround yet because then they got Buffalo next week. This will just be a game to make them, right the ship, make things feel better, make people know Chiefs, it's not the end of the world. But it's Philly. I'm not expecting much from them. Philly's been struggling on offense and defense, so I can see it being a real high-scoring game. But this could be the game where Chiefs show around on defense because Philly's O-line hasn't been great. Jalen Hurts has been running for his life. That offense has been struggling. So I could see this being a blowout, but it's Kansas City. It doesn't happen. I will give KC the win. Now, next up, we got the Arizona Cardinals going into the LA Rams. Rams are 4-point favorites. In everything, I do this every week, and I have a game, and this will probably be the one. Everything in me wants to take the Cardinals as the upset because I really do believe it's going to happen. It's kind of like what I mentioned with Cincinnati on Thursday night. There's always those letdown games after big games, and the Rams are coming off a huge one with the Buccaneers and beat them by double digits. Now you're taking on a division rival, a good one at that. Well, that whole division is really good. And I can see Kyler Murray coming in there and beating the Rams, but the Rams are very talented. Right now, they're my best team in the NFL, and I think they'll be a Super Bowl contender at the end of it. It's just hard not to pick against them. Like, they got a great offense. They got probably the number one defense. Aaron Donald's going to do his thing. Rams should take this game, but I know I'm going to come back here probably on Sunday with an instant reaction video. It'll be this one unless the Chiefs lose. Well, even if the Chiefs win, I'll do an instant reaction video on them. But this will be my next one if the Cardinals win because this one will be the one I'll be kicking myself in the ass about if the Cardinals win because I know they probably will. And this next one is a really fun one as well. We got the Seattle Seahawks going into San Fran. San Fran is 2.5-point favorites. I really do like Seattle in this. Seattle, like I mentioned, they do always start the year off slow, but I don't know. There's motivation from losing to Minnesota. They can't fall too far behind. That is probably the best division in the league. I think they need to play catch up. And definitely against a team in your own division, I think Russ is going to come out firing. San Fran didn't look all that great against Green Bay as well. They came back at the end, but that whole game besides the fourth quarter was terrible on San Fran's perspective. I think it'll be a great game. Of course, it's division. The 2.5 is what gets everyone because a lot of people think San Fran wins by 3, which is great. That means you cover by a point. I'm taking Seattle. Seattle's going to come into San Fran, and they're going to win this. Man, and we got another great game coming up. This week was a really hard week to choose games. Like, you got a lot of very close matchups, like both teams even each other out. And this is another one. You got the Baltimore Ravens going into Denver. This just became a pick'em game. So whoever you want, they win, you win. Now, this is very difficult because Denver's got a great defense. And I also, again, from a Chiefs fan perspective, I try to take division out of it as well and just go off of how good that team is or how bad that team is. And I got to factor in Denver's receiving core issues. I don't believe in their offense too much yet. They do got a decent offense. They can make some noise this season. But with Jerry Jeudy out, KJ Hamler hurt, Tim Patrick has been not liable, but reliable receiver last year and this year, proving himself. Cortland Sutton still that stud. I think Melvin Gordon just got hurt as well, which might be a blessing in disguise for some Denver fans because Javonte Williams is the truth. He's going to take over in the future for Denver. But man, Ravens are also dealing with those injuries as well. And this will be a good test. Like, go back and forth. But if Denver can stop Lamar, it's not going to be a game. But I want to edge it for the Ravens just because this will be like the Cardinals game. I might have to make a reaction on this one as well. I'm going to slide with the Ravens. They got lucky to beat Detroit. They got lucky to beat KC. They could literally be 0-3. They are struggling this year. That's why do I really want to change that up right now? Just for y'all, just because I have it written down, I'm going to stick with Baltimore. I really do believe they'll pull this out. It's very evenly matched. I think it could be a really good game. I think this will be one of the best games this weekend. Now, next game up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers going into Lambeau. 6-point favorites are the Green Bay Packers, which they just lowered that by a point, which makes everybody probably ecstatic because I see this being more than a touchdown game, so people can easily take Green Bay all day, every day. Pittsburgh looks like garbage. That offense looks terrible. That defense is having a hard time making up for what that offense can't do. And so they're really struggling with that. The defense is better than what it's been the last 2 weeks, but when the offense ain't helping you out whatsoever, and it's all Big Ben, and they don't have no backup behind him, it's going to be a long season for Pittsburgh if they can't find an answer, because I don't think Big Ben is your answer. Aaron Rodgers, since week one, he's been proving himself. San Fran was a very iffy game. They started out great, fell off in the fourth, and of course he gets the ball with 30 seconds left. He does Aaron Rodgers type of things and wins the game. I'd take Green Bay all day, every day in this one. Now, the game you've been seeing all week, the game we've been hearing about all week. They can't stop talking about it. It's Tom Brady going back home to New England. Tom Brady and his Bucks are 7-point favorites, and I don't think that line is big enough. I think he'll come in there and he'll rout them. He doesn't care about any other game. People he wanted to prove he could win a Super Bowl without him. That was checklist number 1. It's off. Now he wants to prove he could beat Bill Belichick, and he just don't want to beat him. He wants to beat him. It's going to be, I think it'll be a double-digit showing. It won't be close. Mac Jones has been struggling. New England's been struggling all in all. They do got a decent defense, but Tom Brady knows Bill Belichick. He knows the type of schemes he's been calling up. I think New England is in for a long night against the boy, but who knows? Maybe Bill Belichick has something up his sleeve. Maybe this is where he unleashes everything and surprises us. But it'd be Mac Jones' biggest win probably ever. If he wins this, I don't care what Super Bowls you win. I don't care what you do in the next 10 years, 15 years. You beat Tom Brady, Bill Belichick will love you forever. He'll give you a contract right then and there probably, but I just don't see that happen. And now we got the fun one, the nightcapper, the Monday nightcapper. We got the Las Vegas Raiders going into LA, the Chargers, a battle for first place in the West. This is going to be a fun, exciting game. Chargers are 3.5 point favorites. I'm rolling with it. The Chargers look really good. I believe right now they're probably the best team in the West. I do like the Raiders. The Raiders are proving me wrong in a lot of aspects. I do need to see it more. But just because if they lose this game doesn't mean I won't stop believing in them. They're a very talented young team. They've shown me more than what they've shown me in the past when they started out hot. I just think the West is strong. It's hard. I like the Chargers, what they put in their game plan. They got a lot of weapons. So do the Raiders. It'll go back and forth. Their defenses are evenly matched. This will be like a 35-31 type of game. And Herbert is that boy, and that's why I'm going with that. I think Herbert is better than Carr. He's going to be one of the best quarterbacks upcoming in this league, and he's going to take it by storm. I had him as my surprise MVP pick. We'll see how the year goes on, but right now, he's doing his thing. Let's see how it goes. Derek Carr is as well. Maybe battle of MVPs. It sounds weird. I know. Derek Carr in that conversation, but it's what we're talking about. It's week 4. I'm going with LA Chargers. And with that, that will wrap up week 4 NFL predictions. As you guys do know, I will post it on the screen. I got a slim lead. 1 game lead. I got to take control. I made some risky bets this week. I took the Lions. I took the Colts. I took the Vikings. There's underdogs in there, but you need to pick these underdogs if you want to try to go perfect every week. So we'll see how that pans out. I'm excited to see what Tim puts forward in his picks as well. If you guys have made it all the way through this video, it is greatly appreciated. Be sure to subscribe as well. Follow on Twitter. I forgot to mention that, but I will put it on the screen as well. The fan picks, not a lot of you participated, but it's what I expected because I don't got that big of a following. But be sure to go follow that. Let's make this more fun, more interesting. I will post it in the video. It will be above my head. It completely slipped my mind, but I will show how the fans be thinking with this. I probably got 5 to 7 votes on every single one, so the percentages are going to be way off, but hey, at least I got something out of it. So do follow that Twitter page because I'm trying to make this more exciting every week for you guys to, get more involved. And with that, please do like this video. The season is only a quarter of the way young. We still kicking through. And with that, hope y'all enjoy your Sunday of football.